So AJ's like, you know, and I'm looking at him going, what are you doing? And I'm sitting there with this cigar,
Charlotte Daly of Male Sport Boxing. I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. Thank you for taking the time. I'm going to start with AJ. There's been lots of talk about his demeanour this week. I spoke to him on Monday and he was really relaxed, he was laughing, he was chatting, in a really good mood. Tuesday, it seemed like the polar opposite. Can you kind of talk me through what his demeanour is like at the moment and why you think maybe Monday was so different to Tuesday?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why we analyse everything he says or every mood that he's in, but I guess it just comes with the territory. I saw him yesterday. Couldn't have been happier, couldn't have been more relaxed, couldn't be more excited about performing. You know, obviously there's a lot of people here who have said a lot of stuff about him over the years, and you can't just expect him to just go up to him and put on a smile and shake their hands and say, hello buddy. So he's being real in that respect. So, you know, if someone's been slagging him off for years and years and he comes face to face with them, don't expect him just to be super friendly. So but from a training perspective, from a camp perspective, from a mindset perspective around the fight, switched on, dialed in, and I honestly believe we'll get a great performance from him at the weekend.
Yeah, he gave me that impression on Monday, that he's really focused but also really confident in himself. I know there's been a lot of talk about like his mindset and whether he's mentally defeated and stuff like that. That wasn't what I got from him on Monday. Do you think that frustrates him and almost like frustrates you guys and his camp as such, that people make those assumptions when there might not be anything behind it?
We laugh about it, really. You know, I've never known someone to be so psychoanalysed. Like, it's a fight. You know, he's in a good place. He's had a great camp. His sparring's been outstanding, and he's excited. Like, I see a motivated fighter. I see a fighter. You know, I love the confidence that Otto Wallin's bringing, the smack, if you like, that he's talking as well. Because I think that'll get AJ motivated. When there's a massive fight on the horizon, sometimes these fights can be the most dangerous. We saw it last time with Andy Ruiz. You know, don't forget, everyone was talking about the Deontay Wilder fight before Andy Ruiz, so we don't want to make that same mistake. The focus is on Saturday and getting the job done.
You said there about camp. We've seen some footage on social media of AJ hitting the pads. He's got immense power. We've heard that, as you said, their sparring has been amazing. Do you think that this camp and this link up with Ben Davison is the best thing for him at this point in his career, and do you think they'll continue working together afterwards?
I always say with AJ, you know, if he believes in the game plan, if he's happy, if he's confident, he's very difficult to beat, and that's where I think he's at right now. You know, he's gelling well with Ben Davison, Lee Wiley. They've got a great team. Tactically, they're very good at breaking fights down and making the fighter understand what they need to do. And that's the key with AJ. Some fights that he's been in, I'm not so sure that he's felt confident about the game plan and about what he needs to do. I think he does, and I think you'll see that on Saturday.
And that was one of the things, actually, we were kind of discussing about the open workout as such. He obviously didn't show much, didn't give much away. Do you think that's because he's changed a lot in camp and he didn't want to give any hints as to what's...
You're doing it again. You're psychoanalysing it. Every top fighter, virtually, on the planet, never does anything at an open workout. You know, you'll never see Canelo Alvarez hit pads on an open workout. You'll never see, you know, a number of these top names. They're just not going to do it. You know, why would you go in there and hit 15 minutes of pads? You're not going to start showcasing to the world what you've been working on. So for many years now, he hasn't really been doing anything in open workouts. He wanted to do something different, which was to bring some of the young fighters from Saudi, amateur boxers, into the ring and give them a night they'll never forget. So he doesn't need to. I think the big thing with Anthony now is he's going to do whatever he wants to do. Do you know what I mean? So, like last night, there was a conversation in the change room. Ben, what do you want me to do? Absolutely nothing at all. Oh, shall I? No. Like, last thing I want you to do is working on stuff that we're working on. So, like Otto Wallin went in there, he hit pads orthodox. Like, he's not going to fight orthodox on the night. So, yeah, these things are more like, you know, you get on the big races, you get the horses walking around the circle. It's just a chance for you to see the fighters up close, take care of their media obligations, and he's saving it all for the ring on Saturday.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Why do you think then Wilder went in and did it looked as if it was like 6 rounds in there. He was really going for it.
Everyone's different. Wilder may feel like he's been out for a long time. He wants to show the world how heavy-handed he is. Is that insecurity? Is that confidence? I don't know. If we're going to psychoanalyse AJ, we might as well do it to Wilder as well. But yeah, I want to show the world how hard I punch. Watch this. AJ's not really that guy, but everyone's different. But yeah, I feel like most people don't really showcase a lot in the open workouts, and like I said, at this stage in his career, he's going to do what he thinks is best to prepare him for a great performance on Saturday.
And during my chat with AJ, we spoke a lot about the entertainment route and the legacy route. He said to me that he's more excited by or interested in the legacy route, most notably talking about the IBF. Do you think that is something that he will want to entertain before doing the Wilder fight?
Legacy comes in many ways. Legacy comes from winning championships. Legacy also comes from fighting everybody and giving the public what they want and being remembered for someone that took the biggest challenges. The biggest challenge he can take right now that's available is Deontay Wilder. It's a huge fight, it's a huge money fight, and it's definitely the fight that fight fans want. So in that respect, that's a great option. The other option is to potentially see if the IBF belt frees up, and then he could fight Hrgovic for the world title. That's another great option. So we'll have to see. But I think for any fight to happen in March, firstly you have to win on Saturday, but you have to win and come through without any cuts or injuries or bruises. It's a very fast turnaround, so there's no point really talking about what might be next until we see what happens at what will be, I think, 3 a.m. time we're wrapped up on Saturday or Sunday morning here.
Now, you're going to say that I'm psychoanalyzing again, but one of the things AJ... yeah, I'm going to do it. One of the things AJ did say on his broadcast interview was, if I can't do it now, I can't do it, sort of thing. Do you think that is true, that if he can't get through Otto Wallin on the weekend, that's kind of it, that shows where he's at, that he maybe can't challenge for that, becoming a 3-time heavyweight champion?
In my opinion, Otto Wallin is a world-class heavyweight. He's not an elite heavyweight. So if you want to go in there and beat the elite guys, really you should be beating Otto Wallin. He is a southpaw. It is a different kind of style, and styles make fights. Just because you can't beat Otto Wallin doesn't mean that you can't beat Deontay Wilder. But certainly if he got beat on Saturday, he'd have the rematch with Otto Wallin. But the fights with Wilder and Fury would be a long way away, and that's not a position we want to be in. So I think that's him just saying, I'm ready. Like, if I'm not ready now, I'll never be ready. We know what he's capable of, we know what he's done, we know what he's achieved, and he puts pressure on himself to perform.
Talking there about southpaw, now it's something I've said to him and I've said to other people. I don't think it's southpaws he struggles with. I think that it was more just Usyk was better. Yeah. Do you agree with that? Do you think that southpaw is something he struggles with, or do you think it was just on? I think
it's very rare to hear a fighter say, I want to fight a southpaw. It's just a different kind of style that it's harder to get sparring. It's not a style that you're used to in the same way as a stand-up orthodox fighter. So if you can, you avoid them. But you are right in the sense that Wallin is not a slippery southpaw. He's awkward, because they all are, and he's tall, but he's not one that necessarily you'll struggle to get to grips with like an Alexander Usyk. He doesn't have the footwork, he doesn't have the same movement, and he's not as good. So yeah, you are right. It's easy to say you struggle against southpaws, but the only southpaw to beat Anthony Joshua is Alexander Usyk. So you're talking about special talent.
Going to move on now to Opetaia. Obviously, he has vacated his belt. I spoke to him about it the other day. He's frustrated, but he doesn't want it to kind of cloud what he's got to do at the weekend. How frustrating is it for you? Because obviously there was the exception with Jordan Thompson. We thought that we'd potentially get that again this weekend, but we didn't. yeah, just about that situation.
Yeah, it's really frustrating because I feel like common sense hasn't really prevailed. I understand rules and they do need to be followed, but they only really need to be followed like that when it's affecting someone. Bradis wasn't ready for December, so we agreed to fight Bradis in March, and we just said we're ready and we've been given this opportunity to fight here. Are we okay to fight in December? Bradis is okay with it, Wasserman's okay with it, Matchroom are okay with it, Opetaia's okay with it, and the IBF said no, we're not okay with it. Why would you take an opportunity away from a fighter to keep a belt active and to make money that will basically secure his future? He had to take this fight. Like, it's a 2-fight deal to change his life, and belts are important, but you have to stand up for what you believe in. I also respect the rules of the IBF, but I just feel like it wasn't a difficult decision to say, okay, well, no one's being hurt here, no one's being affected, no one's complaining, we'll keep the belt active, and we get 2 IBF World Championship fights in 3 months. So yeah, frustrating. Obviously he's still Ring Magazine champion, everyone knows he's the number 1 in the division, and he'll be in some big fights moving forward. Has to take care of it at Ellis Zara on Saturday.
I want to finish by talking to you about that epic trailer for this card on the weekend. Did you have a bit of a laugh, like, doing all of that? Because it looked hilarious, to be honest. All of you dressed up in the makeup with the cuts on, everything like that. What was it like kind of backstage?
It was really surreal. I mean, we're not really used to that kind of stuff, and it, like, obviously the cost and the effort that went into it was incredible. And I was in the makeup truck four trips I had where they kept saying I needed to be more zombie, and I'm sitting in this sort of study. I got a cigar, I'm smoking this cigar. I can't stand cigars. Come out there, it's all in my mouth, and but AJ comes in. The one thing is that because it was so impressive, everyone actually really tried and got into character. Like, there was a moment where AJ, in my scene, AJ had to sign a contract with like a random amputated hand that was on the desk and dip it in blood and sign the contract. And the director, as they do, they're going to me, if you make some noise, it will be more convincing, like, as a zombie. So I'm like, what? So AJ's like, and I'm looking at him going, what are you doing? And we were like messaging each other after, saying, mate, you got great performance in there today. And I'm sitting there with this cigar, and you even see Frank, in the car, like this, and Otto Wallin. Everyone actually embraced it because we're just not used to it. And although it's amazing what they're doing out here with the fights, it is also amazing to see the level of investment that they're putting into the build-up and the promos, and it's actually good for boxing, to see those kind of trailers. And it was definitely a day to remember.